How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another video in the Gladiator. And today I've got a pretty good one for you. I know a lot of people have been asking me how I like this thing and how I've been enjoying it now that I've had it for just over a month. And it has actually been a month and 5 days. So it's been like almost, I'd say, 5 weeks. And yeah, I've been loving it and I've been enjoying it a lot. And let me give you guys a few things that I think that I enjoy and that I don't enjoy. But first, let's go for a little bit of a POV drive, because we are out here on one of my favorite driving roads. This is the Forks of the Credit here in Ontario, Canada, and it is just very scenic. So let's strap on the camera and let's go for a little bit of a drive, and I'll explain to you guys the driving dynamics and what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy. All right, and we are out here with a bunch of people. Usually there's a bunch of motorcycles. Usually I'm actually out here on my motorcycle, but today we are in the Gladiator. And it has been raining on and off today, so I hope that I can get a good image for you guys. It was supposed to stop raining, but it kind of rolled back through, but that's besides the point. So one thing that I will mention is, if you are looking at a Gladiator or you've never driven a Gladiator, they are not nimble. As you can see, it's a lummox on the road, and it's to be expected. It's a long vehicle, it's a solid axle vehicle, but as you can see here, we're doing a double hairpin, or this one's more of a hairpin, that one wasn't as intense, but you can see we're doing a hairpin here, and we didn't actually cross over the yellow line. We pretty much made it like any other vehicle would. So we're not that long. I don't even think we're as long as a full-size pickup truck. So if it's the length that's bothering you, then on the road it's not an issue. The back axle or the ass end actually really follows the front end really well. You can take corners pretty tight without having the back end go over the curb or touch anything or anything like that. Drive-throughs aren't an issue. I've never really had a problem with that. And as you can see, going through the curves here, I'm keeping up with the motorcycles, and I'm not trying to keep up with the motorcycles. I'm just driving as I would normally drive, and I'm not having an issue at all. As you can see, I'm driving with one hand. I'm enjoying myself. It's a great day. So this is a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. I actually really love driving it. It drives great. The steering feel, the way that the vehicle handles itself on the road, the way that it absorbs the different inconsistencies in the road, from bumps to potholes to speed bumps to different stuff like that. I love it. I honestly love the way that this Gladiator drives. This is the Rubicon, so I'm sure that it will drive a little bit different than having a Sport or an Overland or just anything, because they changed the suspension on those vehicles. That being said, the driving dynamics are still going to be the same. It still has the same steering box. It still has 90% of the same parts. Your axles might be a little bit different, but I believe that in a Gladiator, almost all of them, actually no, all of them come with Dana 44s. So you don't have to worry about having a different axle. The axles are going to be the same. I think the only difference is that you get a wide track in some of them and you get a regular one in the others. Some of them have a locker equipped, some of them don't. This one obviously does have the wide track with the locker. I have 33-inch all-terrains, and it drives great. I'll roll down the window for you. I don't know if you can hear it, but sometimes going around a corner, especially a corner like this, if I take it at speed, you will hear the tires a little bit. Right there. Now, not a big deal. It is a big tire. You are going at speed around a corner. It is to be expected. It's not a sports car, but it does handle itself really well. And even going through stuff like this, you can see it picks up pretty good. Now, we are in kilometers per hour, and it does pick up pretty good. I'm not going to say that it's the fastest thing in the world, but it definitely does have enough power. Now, would I like it to have more power? Of course. Who wouldn't want their vehicle to have more power? But people that are saying that this thing is underpowered, it has more than enough power for your daily driving. It has more than enough power when you go off-road, because at that point you will be putting it into 4 low and you'll change the gearing and you'll have a lot more torque. But just for everyday driving and enjoying yourself on the road, it's more than enough. It's more than fun. It has more than enough pep. It takes off from a dead stop very well. You can take corners very well. It's just, you have to be aware it's a heavy vehicle, it's a long vehicle. other than that, the braking is great. I don't have an issue with the brakes. I know that I've watched a few reviews before I purchased mine, and a lot of people have mentioned that the braking is lacking. Now, maybe they have a different package than me, maybe they have a different brake setup, I'm not too sure. As far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, I believe there is only one braking setup or one set of brakes for these. I don't think that the Rubicons and the Sports and the Overlands have different brakes. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please correct me so that people in the comments section can actually find out for themselves that there is different brakes. But to be honest, I think that there isn't. I think the only difference is the size of tires. And depending on your size of tires, your braking will be affected differently, of course. So for me, I haven't had an issue. I haven't been towing with this. I don't have a large load on it. I don't really have anything in the bed. The only thing I have is a hard tonneau cover, and that's not really weight in the bed. So I wouldn't really say I'm hauling anything, and it's been doing great. I haven't had any issues. I'll show you in just a second. We'll be taking a left-hand turn into a residential street just so I could do a loop back around, and you'll see I'll be turning. Is it here? No, I think it's the next one. Yeah, I'll turn here. So you can see from 70, she slows down very nice. No issues. Local traffic only. Don't worry, I live here. But honestly, she drives great. If you want to just cruise, it's great for that. We go out for cruises all the time down Lakeshore and just enjoy ourselves and go for a nightly cruise, take the T-tops off, or take the freedom panels, I should call it, but it works the exact same as a T-top if you've ever had a T-top. So yeah, basically you can remove one panel or both panels. You can drive around with just one panel out. And it is a great vehicle. I honestly love driving it. If you've never driven a solid axle vehicle, a lot of people that drive these or Jeeps for the first time will say that it likes to drift and wander and it likes to just basically walk all over the road. I haven't found that to be the case. Personally, I have driven other Jeeps. I have a 2001 Jeep Wrangler, but you can see obviously the road curves, but she's going dead straight. She doesn't walk anywhere. On the highway, it tracks great. It doesn't have any issues with walking around or anything like that. If you've never driven a solid axle vehicle, it does tend to grab the inconsistencies in the road more because your wheels are connected. They don't have independent suspension. When one wheel goes down, it lifts the other wheel up. So that's why you'll see when you go through a bump, you'll get that little bit like of steering movement, but it doesn't actually offset the vehicle or move the vehicle. It's just adjusting for that one little bump, and it's great. I haven't had any issues. As far as driving, it's beautiful. And before I go to pull over and show you guys some things that I enjoy and some things that I don't enjoy about my 2022 Gladiator, let's go and let's do a little acceleration just to show you guys what it is like from a dead stop. And it's going to be a little bit hard because there is a hill in front of us, so it's not going to be a perfectly straight acceleration, but we can do our best. So we are stopped and foot to the floor. Now remember, this is kilometers per hour. So it's about 6 to 7 seconds from 0 to 100 or 0 to 60. You have to remember, we are climbing some pretty steep grades. Even though it is a small hill, it is pretty steep, and it does all right. It honestly is a great vehicle to drive. It's fun to drive. It takes off. It doesn't feel sluggish. It doesn't feel like it's lacking power. And yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about the driving dynamics. So now let's go hop out and let's talk about what I love and what I don't love about this Jeep. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is actually in here, and I love the design language. I honestly think that they did a great job. I know it looks just like the last Jeep, or it looks very similar to the last Jeep and the Jeep before that, but that's because it works. It's great. Everything is out of reach. I love that I actually have a button for everything. So if I want, oh, sorry about that. So if I want, I can go in here and I have all my climate controls. So I have my heated seats, heated wheel, all of my different stuff in there. I can also go and actually turn on my climate controls from here. So I can go in here. You can see we've got everything. I can turn my fan on, I can turn it off, turn it back on. We've got everything here. Change where the air is coming, AC, circulate, everything's there. But everything is also here. Heated seats, heated wheel, defrost, rear defrost, AC, recirculate, everything is there, which I love. as well as having auxiliary buttons. I know that that's an option, but I actually really enjoy having these, not having to put in my own switches and just mess up the way that the interior looks by adding things. Personally, I love the way that it looks clean and stock and without any extra stuff. Some people have mixed feelings about the red dash. You either love it or you hate it. I love it. So that's what it is. But that's just what it is when you get the Rubicon. I think the only way to get rid of that is to get a certain seating package. I think if you get the saddle brown seating package, they don't put this in, they put in a gray one. Don't quote me on that, but I know there is an option that you can choose that will get rid of the actual red dash if you don't enjoy the red dash. Personally, I love it. I've also heard other people say that they don't enjoy having the red stitching on the wheel or on the seats, and I understand that sometimes it doesn't match, especially if you have a color that doesn't match with the red. I think the red and the blue look great together. I actually like the red stitching. I don't mind it at all. Like I said, if you get the different seating options, I'm not sure that all of them come with that. I think you can eliminate that if you want, but I like it. And yes, I did get the cloth. A lot of people will be asking me why I got the cloth. Personally, I like the way it looks. I feel that it's more comfortable. I honestly just have always had cloth in all of my vehicles, so I enjoy it that much more. And you can see there is plenty of room back here. Even with myself sitting here, I am 6'1". I have my seat as far back as it goes, and you can see there is a good 7 or 8 inches before the seat touches the other seat. So almost anybody can sit back here. I've sat in the back of Gladiators sitting behind my brother, who is 6'2" or 6'3". I'm not too sure. He's a lot taller than me. And I'm comfortable sitting behind him. So the space and the seating in here is great. I have no issues with that. Tons of leg room for myself, tons of leg room for people in the back. And carrying on with that same point, I love the way that they designed this thing. I know it looks just like the last Jeep and the Jeep before that, but that's because it works. And I love the way they look. I really enjoy that they kept the boxy style, but they also added just enough curves and enough body lines that it makes it more interesting to look at than just a box. So the way that they put the body lines here along the side, these body lines here actually carry along all the way to the back, right through the bed, and I think it looks really sharp. That's the same line all the way around here and all the way through back around. And I just think that the design language and the way that they chose to do the body lines looks awesome. I don't know if I'm a big fan of having this vent here, but it doesn't look terrible, to be honest. I recently put on the upgraded sliders. So these are Mopar. These are the premium Mopar rock rails. So they are steel. They do mount up just like your original rock rails underneath. And they are actually a bit stronger than your original rock rails because they have this extra little plate here all the way down, which gives them that extra bit of rigidity. I know it's a little bit hard to see because it's a little dark, but trust me, they are strong. Another thing that I really enjoy are the freedom panels. And I know you heard me mention them a minute ago while we were driving, but you can see this is how quick and how easy it is to remove them. You can literally take them out in seconds, take them, put them in the back, throw them in the back seat, and you're off and you're going and enjoying. And you can see it takes seconds to take them out, it takes seconds to put them back in, and it's awesome because I've never had a vehicle with freedom panels before. So for me, I think it's just that much better and that much more enjoyable to have a vehicle that you can take the top off, and to have a vehicle where you can have a choice. If you don't want to take the whole top off, you can rip off these two panels, enjoy the actual open air experience, throw them back on if it starts to rain, or if there's any bad weather or anything like that, or for whatever reason. It's just nice to have them. I honestly love that feature. So number one, I love how it drives. Number two, I love the interior styling and the exterior styling. Third, I love having those freedom panels. And fourth is that sound system. I love the sound system in here. I honestly can't say enough good things about it. A lot of people don't think that is that great. I don't know if they have the Alpine upgraded system, but if you do get a Rubicon, it comes standard. You can option it in the other trim levels. That thing actually sounds great. It is actually really bass heavy, so if you enjoy bass, as I do, it actually bumps a lot harder than you would expect for a stock system to bump. It has a 10-inch or 8-inch sub. I'm not too sure the size. I haven't looked that up, but it has a sub in between the two seats in the back on the floor, as well as all your other speakers are upgraded to Alpine. I also do have the removable Bluetooth speaker in the back, which is part of your sound system while it's plugged in. A lot of people don't option this piece, so they don't have it, but I'm sure this doesn't make a difference in your sound quality, but it is one extra speaker. But it can't all be good, can it? So I have a few things that I don't like or that I don't enjoy as much, but I think that I can live with it and I can get through it. So I still think that it's a great vehicle and I love the vehicle and I wouldn't replace it for another vehicle. But there is a few things that kind of irk me that I figured if you're in the market for one and you're watching this review, I should be honest with you guys and tell you guys about those few things. Now, the first thing isn't really an issue, isn't really a thing. It's probably something that every single pickup truck has, but it's the rake. I honestly hate the way it's raked. It has so much rake stock. You can see I'm sitting on flat ground, and the amount that the front has in between the wheel, like the amount of space in the wheel well in the front compared to the rear, you can see how much of a rake it has. Like literally the front comes up to about there. Now if we walk to the back, you can see it is a good inch of difference. Now, not a big difference, I know, not a big deal, but it is about 1.5 inches when you measure it with a measuring tape. Now, 1.5 inches in the grand scheme of things isn't a big deal. The reason they do that is so that when you do load the bed up, it then doesn't actually start sitting like a Carolina lean and you don't start looking like an idiot. But right now, the rake isn't great. I don't love it. A lot of people complain about it. I am going to actually be addressing it. I do have a leveling kit on order, or actually ordered, I should say, that I will be throwing on soon. And there is a few pieces that people always forget when doing a leveling kit on these JTs. And I do think that I can help you guys out if you're looking to do a leveling kit, or even if you're just interested to know what that piece is. I will be doing that video soon, so definitely stay tuned for that video. If you're new around here, jump down there, hit that subscribe button. But let's go and let's jump inside so that I can show you guys the two other things that are kind of a piss off or a gripe. The first thing, let's go into run mode. The first thing is the media buttons on the back of the actual steering wheel. Now, if you're not familiar with the steering wheels on these new Jeeps, there is media buttons right back here. I know it's a little bit hard to see, maybe from this side. There we go. So there is media buttons right back here on both sides. You have a up, a down, and a center button. Now what these do is, on this side, your media button's on the back. The up button will go forward in your actual tuning of your like your pre-selected preset stations. The down will go back, and the center will go through your presets. Up and down will just do tuning, so you'll be able to go through all the different stations. On the right, you have your volume up and down, and in the center, it'll go through the different the different sources. So you can go through Bluetooth, auxiliary, FM, satellite, and whatever else that you may have as your inputs. Now, the one gripe that I have about that is, say I want to actually go back through my presets. So I can go forward through all my presets. You can see it'll go forward through them, and it'll just keep going forward. It won't go back. Like, it's kind of a piss off. You can only go one way. And if I use the tune button, I can tune backwards, but it doesn't go through my presets. It just kind of goes through all of them. And I understand this is a first world problem. This isn't something to complain about, but it is something that you should know if you're going to be going out and buying this vehicle. It is a little bit of a piss off that they put so many damn buttons on the steering wheel, but that one button will not let you go back. They should have honestly made it so that you can scroll through your presets with the up and the down, and make the center so that you can switch between tune and presets. I don't know, whatever. Regardless, that one thing always gets me whenever I'm driving. I always find that to be really annoying, because whenever you want to go back through your presets, you either have to go all the way through 12 of them, or you have to go down one, and then it's just a pain in the ass. It is what it is. The other thing that I will complain about, that is also a first world problem, is the speed at which the center screen here scrolls. So say I want to get to my trip computer. I press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It should be at 7 because we've started at 1. Like it always lags behind 1 or 2. So like you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not even at the same screen we were at last time. So like, let me try this again. Let me try this again, guys, because I'm telling you, this pisses you off. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're at the screen we were at last time, 6, but we're not at 7. So say we want to actually get to 7. Okay, I'll show you. You got to go 1, let it load. 2, let it load. 3, let it load. 4, let it load. 5, let it load. 6. Now we're on the page we should have been on the whole time. Like, I get it. It's nothing. It's a little thing. But it's like, if I know I want to be on page 6 and I'm on page 1, I gotta stare at this thing and wait for it to load. Like, while I'm driving on the road, I can't just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, I can't just count in my head and press the button. No, it won't let you do that. It needs to load the next page. I just think that that's stupid. I honestly think that that's not even like a safety thing, because obviously you don't have to be scrolling through this crap while you're driving. I just think it's kind of annoying that that's even a thing that you have to deal with. Personally, I can get around that. I can live with it. Like I said, these are minor things. These are nitpicking things, but it is something that pisses me off that I thought I would mention to you guys, because if you're in the market for one of these, you will have to deal with that in your day-to-day life. And well, guys, I think that's about gonna cut it for today, because I think I covered pretty much everything. Like I said, I've only had this guy for about a month. I've been driving it for 5 weeks. I've put 2,500 kilometers on it, so we haven't been going crazy. We haven't been driving that much, but I definitely have had some seat time, and I have had some time to tell you the things that I enjoy and the things that I don't enjoy. But definitely, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for coming out today. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did enjoy today's video, jump down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because trust me, I've got tons more videos for you guys. I will be making a 5 things I love and a 5 things I hate video. They will not be including any of the stuff that was in today's video. So if you guys are interested in that, or if you want to know a little bit more and just see how the Jeep is coming along and see how I enjoy it, or see if anything has happened, then definitely jump down there, hit that subscribe button. I'd be happy to share my thoughts and my Jeep with you guys, and any kind of stuff that we come along on our journey, because we will be taking it off-road, we will be modding it, and we will be doing lots more new adventures, because I do have another Jeep, but this one is going to be taking us further and taking us to new places and different places. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, guys, ride safe out there. Peace.